Hi, I'm Brittany. I'm a TBI survivor and a member of Bind.
And hi, I'm Carrie, a stroke survivor and a member of Bind as well. And today we're welcoming Livia with us. We're continuing on our Meet the Team guest episodes. So y'all have probably heard from Livia before. We had her on in the past when I think it was when she went back to school or work. She'll remind me because in brain injury, I don't remember exactly. But she has joined the podcast team. She's been with us for a while. She does a little bit of the editing and social media, so we'll let her talk about that as well. So welcome again, Livia.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Welcome to Bindwaves, the official podcast of the Brain Injury Network of Dallas. I'm Brian White, Bind's Executive Director. On each episode, we'll be providing insight into the brain injury community. We'll be talking to members and professionals regarding their stories and the important role of Bind's Clubhouse. We work as a team to inspire hope, community, and a sense of purpose to survivors, caregivers, and the public. Thank you for tuning into Bindwaves. Let's get on with the show.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I guess just a little reminder for our listeners. Tell us just a little bit about you again so they can remember what kind of brain injury.
I had a brain injury in 2017. It was an aneurysm, and I was 18 when it happened, and I'm 25 now. I'll be 26 next week.
Exciting. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Okay. And you went back to school or back to work? Because now I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. In the last podcast I went back to school and I talked about my challenges, and I also lived independently at like a group home. But now I live with my parents.
Okay.
So how does that feel like since you transitioned to a different setting or environment?
I mean, the group home, it just wasn't the right fit for me, and I didn't have a job at the time, so it was quite expensive for rent. And living with my parents, I don't pay rent, obviously, and they kind of just leave me alone to do my own thing, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good. You're lucky. My parents charge me rent. So.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Not a lot of rent, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's cheap
still,
rent, but it's still rent, But they help do. They do a lot. So I mean, it's like I said, it's cheap rent, but they're the same as your parents. They pretty much leave me alone. So
yeah.
Same with my mom. I live with my mom. Yeah, and she basically leave me alone. Like, we're separate.
That's nice.
yeah. So what got you interested? What made you decide that you wanted to be a part of our wonderful podcast team?
Well, before the podcast, I was working in communications, like sending emails and stuff. And I guess I wanted more of a challenge. And I like working with computers. I'm good at social media, I think. So I decided to help with the podcast.
And you worked with another company or another group doing their social media before, correct?
Oh yeah, before I helped the podcast here, I did adaptive rock climbing, and we have a social media page, and I helped run that page.
So you said you wanted to challenge yourself from moving from communications to now the podcast. So how's that challenge going? Is it challenging more or is it easy?
I mean, I'd definitely say it's more challenging because I've had to learn, like, how to edit and stuff. It's not, like, common sense. And, they're different, like, components. I mean, writing an email compared to editing an episode is a lot different and takes a lot more brain power.
Yeah, I guess we should back up. So not only are you doing our social media, but you're one of our backup editors to help. We've discussed that we haven't had, other than myself, which I really haven't talked a lot about that either, myself and Livia. We have another editor who has gone back to work part-time, so really it's just Livia and I right now, but I'm glad she stepped up a while back to become a backup editor, because it is that's the longest process, I think, other than the recording, is editing the episode, because that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So do you have any other ideas of things that you want to work on in the podcast?
I think I like to, bring different ideas to the table. Like, I think this is a great idea of, like, interviewing team members, because no one knows who we are or who does the behind the scenes work. So, more ideas like that. Like, if people want to make recommendations, that would be helpful too.
So, for our listeners, like you said, if you have any recommendations or anything that you want to hear from us, put it down in the comments or email us at bindwaves.org.
Yeah, what she said.
So with you editing, you said like it takes a long process because of your brain power. I know what brain injuries survivors, our brain power, we have like a meter that goes down and go down. Like I know when I like look at a computer or writing, like my brain power will like spaz out and like I run out of fuel. So how do you like kind of cope with that, or how do you?
Good question. When I'm editing the words, the transcript, I have to pay attention to every word. So, like, it makes my brain tired. And sometimes I have to, like, look away for a few minutes or just take a break and close my eyes, because it's tiring. It requires a lot of energy that, people without a brain injury wouldn't understand that.
I know. I think sometimes the most frustrating for me is there's like one word that it's not right in the transcript, but you can't quite figure out what the person's saying. And I hit pause, replay, pause, replay, pause, replay, and then finally like, I think it's this, I don't know.
I do the same thing. Like, sometimes you and Brittany are like talking and the guest talking at the same time. I don't really know what to do.
Yeah, no, we do that a lot. And I sometimes I switch the cameras and sometimes I don't. It just depends on if it's a one word exclamation, then I don't switch the camera from the main speaker and go on. And that's I think what a lot of people don't understand either about the editing is some of it is just kind of a judgment call. And with the brain injury, we're not as secure in ourselves to know what's the right judgment call, if that makes sense. Just fixing misspelled words is a little easier. I still may have to get out my phone and Google to make sure I spell correctly. But like with the old episodes, like with Kezia, that was always easier because AI can only transcribe as good as AI is, and Kezia was usually Kevin or Keith or some weird name, you know. So those were the easy fixes, but yeah, some of them are not so hard. Like especially when we get in, someone says some medical term, and you're like, don't know if AI got that right or not.
True.
But are you enjoying the challenges that you're learning from the
I
podcast?
enjoy editing because I like to be busy, but like not too busy. So I like that I can lay down if I need to. But yeah, I like working on the editing. And as for the social media, I have an Instagram account, so I kind of know what to do. And on our bindwaves account, we follow mostly other accounts about brain injury, so I kind of look at their posts to help model what I'm gonna do.
That's a good idea, because yeah, I mean, I struggle with trying to figure out what should we post about.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, I had a thought and I just lost it.
It's okay.
So yeah, but I know we have lots of ideas. We're hoping maybe for Synapse Labs, we'll do a live reel out there at Synapse Labs so we could post. Yeah, the hardest part is I know last year, I think this year will be better. Last year we had connectivity issues, but so that's our goal. Y'all be on the lookout for that. Synapse Labs is, I think this episode will post before then, is April 12th at Toyota Music Factory. If you're interested and want to go, we have been sharing the link on our Instagram page there to register for Synapse Labs, or you can just donate our team and help us make a good goal. That's our hope.
It would also be cool if we did a video of like the entire event and like what goes on, because most people don't know.
Yeah. Again, the hard part there is some of that we would need staff, and they're too busy to help. So
yeah, that's true.
So we're gonna get what we can get. The first year we were out at Toyota Music Factory, we had everything set up, and then just didn't have time to do anything. So cross our fingers, we can figure it out this year. So.
Yeah, hopefully we could probably, like start it, just like doing reels, like, okay, here's our walk, because Snapshot is a walk, so we raise awareness for brain injury, so we can just like go along on the walk, maybe like get a GoPro, maybe walk, or we can like see at the finish line. But it's good to see like what we do too, because also other vendors and people from the community come out too, so to support us.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, last year I took my walker, like my really big walker, and I think I did the short route, which was like a quarter or a half mile, and it's great to see all the other people in wheelchairs and walkers that have a brain injury too and are participating in the event. It's a good sense of community.
It is, and that's what we're all about, is building the brain injury awareness in the brain injury community. So, yeah. Going forward, do you have any other big aspirations to do in the podcast? Do you want to maybe later be a backup co-host, or any? Look at me trying to get help.
I mean, I know Brittany has a job, so I think it'd be cool maybe to be a backup co-host, because I've been at Bind for like 5 years and they've given me a lot of hope after my brain injury, and I like to give back in any way that I can. And also, it's interesting some of the guests that we have.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Will you ever be a writer for the podcast?
I don't know what to write, but I mean, I guess so. I think I'm decent at writing. I mean, I like to read a lot, so
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something you could think about too. Yeah, because that's just listening to the episode and then writing the description for the episode. So I know, I mean, Carl's kind of the only one that's doing that right now, so he needs a backup too. But yeah, it's been fun. We've been growing. I'm glad that we've finally gotten where we're all 100% member run doing everything with the podcast. So I think that has been really helpful. And with that, I'm going to take a little break and remind you all to click that like button, click that subscribe button, click that follow button, and keep on listening on whatever platform you're listening on.
So even there's a producer position, like would you consider producing?
producers, this may sound dumb, but what do they do again?
Here, do you want to elaborate?
Okay, sure. So the producer is responsible for they're not the only person responsible for finding the guest. We kind of encourage the whole team to help us find the guest, but they're the one that contacts the guests to see if they'd be willing to be on the podcast, and then is responsible for doing all of that back and forth, getting them scheduled and making sure that time is nailed down, that we're available, the co-hosts are available, the sound engineer is available, just making sure all that is done, and then any of the backup work that needs to be done as a producer. So it's more administrative. You have to be kind of checking the email on a regular basis. It's more of a, where some of our tasks are, when they're due, and you can just do them that day, where the producer has to kind of be checking the email on a daily basis to make sure that if we've gotten a contact that wants to be on the podcast, that we're following up. If someone has a conflict with something they've already scheduled, then we can work around that. So it's a different challenge in a different way. So, yeah.
Doesn't Jessica do that?
Yeah, Jessica is our current producer, and I'm Jessica's backup.
So you do everything?
Yes, ma'am. Well, except for, I don't write. We do our Descript program, our editing program, has a pretty cool AI feature. So I have done the descriptions, not me. I have told our underlord. I have to lower my voice to say that because that just sounds so fun. I have had underlord write descriptions for us, and then I pick the one that fits the best and maybe tweak it a little bit. But yeah, right now. But, like you said, you've been here for 5 years. I've been here since the beginning, and Bind has as well given me lots of hope and done a lot for me to get me where I am today, and I want to give back. So, yeah, I kind of just do whatever they ask me to do, whatever needs to be done to get it done. So,
how do you find the guests?
The guests, it was a little, I don't want to say easier in the beginning, but it felt a little easier in the beginning because we had a blank slate. We had no idea what we were going to do. So, we started just with members, and we had the members describe what brain injury is, what therapy is, what Clubhouse is, kind of just from that. And then we just started tapping into the therapists that we knew, people that we knew that we could go, will you be on our podcast? And then we figured out what we were going to talk about from there. Same, we started finding people that we knew, and then started branching out. And a lot of it, the staff will go to different conferences, and they might hear a speaker. And so we get referrals from them, and then that's when the producer reaches out and explains who and what we are and sees if they can get on the podcast. Some of it is just blind luck, just research. If we have a topic that we want to talk about, then we have to just kind of go do searching and So there's a lot more to producing than just the administrative. I mean, yeah, we need someone that's actively looking for people, and there's a lot of different brain injury podcasts that I think would be fun. And I mean, I'm bad. I don't have a lot of time to listen to every one, but to do, what do they call it?
Like
Collaboration, yeah, where maybe we go on their podcast and they come on our podcast. So we need someone who has the time to maybe listen. And like you said, you're paying attention to the other social media posts on their pages. Maybe you listen to one of their episodes or find someone that sounds really cool. Then you could recommend that to us and Jessica, as well. And we could go that way. So, I mean, you can help the producers without being a producer by but doing that way, to help us with the ideas, because that is one of the hardest parts for the producer is finding the guest, and that's where we're struggling right now, is to find more guests to get everything going. So I guess to keep that in the back of your mind while you're, I don't want to say playing on Instagram, because you can be playing on Instagram, but also be thinking about, ooh, that would be, because I know I follow some of them too, but having the time to listen to, I mean, I want y'all to continue to listen to ours, and I know that sounds bad that I'm a podcast host, and I listen, I've got a couple that I listen to, but it gets tough, and so, but Livia, is there anything that, I know you said that you've taken on the new challenges, that you would like to encourage other brain injury survivors to step out of their comfort zone, a way to do that, any advice you'd like to share with our listeners and new survivors?
I think that I'd heard this quote somewhere that says, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's so true. It's with brain injuries, I go to the gym by myself because I have a powered chair, and there's a trail from my house to the gym, and there's a handicap lift into the pool. But of course I have to ask the lifeguards to help me. Well, at first I was like, I don't like talking to people, and my voice sounds different, so what if they don't know what I'm saying? But then after a while, my parents, they work, so I don't want to just be stuck in the house. So I got comfortable, going out and doing whatever I want to do. And sometimes I take Uber to places I want to go, to just be bold and go do it.
Well, that's very brave of you and good of you for challenging yourself like that.
Hey, story time. One time I took an Uber, and I used to have a handle on the back of my backrest, but the Uber driver pulled so hard he ripped it off. So stuff like that happens quite often.
That's crazy. Well, we want to thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us on the podcast, and also for all the hard work you do for us on the podcast. We appreciate that. We wouldn't be functioning as well as we are without all the help we have from the members. So thank you again from us.
Thank you very much, Livia, for everything you do with the podcast.
Thank you guys for being co-hosts.
Thanks. And again, for our listeners, if you want to contact us, you can email us at bindwaves@thebind.org. You can find us on the website at thebind.org/bindwaves. And again, on our Instagram, guess what? At bindwaves. We would appreciate a follow there as well. And again, Snap Slaps is coming up April 12th. Please join our team or donate as you see fit.
Thank you. And don't forget to hit the notification button so you can get our notification. And you can watch us on all the platforms that you watch. So YouTube, more, Spotify, etc.
Okay, until next time.
Until next time.
We hope you've enjoyed listening to Bind Waves and continue to support Bind and our nonprofit mission.
We support brain injury survivors as they reconnect into the life, the community, and their workplace.
And we couldn't do that without great listeners like you. We appreciate each and every one of you. Continue watching. Until next time.
Until next time.